students. Today we will discuss about the third topic of chapter Indian Nationalism towards civil disobedience. We know after the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement, some of the people of Congress like Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das who wanted to join the politics, and they formed the party within the Congress that was called Swaraj Party, and they participated in the council elections and entered in the council politics where they opposed the British anti-Indian policy. At the same time, the other leaders like Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, who still believe in the mass agitations. Actually, two factors but then after the withdrawal of non-cooperation movement, two factors again shaped the politics of India in the late 1920s. One was the Great Depression across the country. Due to Great Depressions, the prices of agriculture fall, agriculture goods get fall, export decline. Peasants found it difficult to get the prices of their harvest and to pay their revenue. So the countryside was in the turmoil. And the second incident was Simon Commission, which came to India in 1928 to check the working of Government of India Act 1919. At the same time, to suggest the measure for the future administration and the constitution. But unfortunately, all its members were Englishmen, which was very hurtful for the Indians, because the British say that Indians have not enough knowledge to discuss the constitution. That is why they were excluded. So when this Simon Commission came to India, it was greeted with black flag demonstration and the slogan Simon go back everywhere. And within, as a challenge taken by the Indian National Congress under the leadership of Nehru, a committee for constitution making was constituted, and within a year, means by the end of 1928, the Indian National Congress brought a Nehru report, and this Nehru report was a mini constitution for India. But one feature which was objectionable by the young leaders like Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose was dominion status to India. Dominion status means the self-government within the British rule. But Gandhiji told them that just wait for a year, uh, give a chance to the British government to at least grant dominion status. If it will unable to grant, then we will decide for the future. In 1929, the government paid least bothered about the demands of the Indians. So in 1929 was a historic session of Indian National Congress took place at Lahore, in which the Indian National Congress passed the resolution of Purna Swaraj, complete independence under, and to achieve it, they decided to launch civil disobedience movement under the leadership of Gandhiji. Third thing happened here is they declared that by 26 January 1930, India, or in every place in India, the people will celebrate Independence Day. Now the question is, why Salt March? Actually, Gandhiji has given 11 demands in January 1930 to the Lord Irwin. One of the important demand was abolition of salt tax. We know the government had monopoly to produce salt, although we are uh, surrounded by three sides of sea. We can make salt by ourselves, but government was put a monopoly to produce by themselves. Beside that, they also adopted and imposed taxes upon the salt, which reflect the oppressive character of the British rule. So Gandhiji was a very tactfully used the salt. One, because salt was used by everyone, whether rich or poor, Hindu or Muslim, peasants or landlords, everyone, every household required salt. And second, it reflected the exploitative character or nature of British rule. So on 12th March from Sabarmati, he started a march with his 78 trusted volunteers. He took the journey of 240 miles, almost 10 miles a day, and on 6th April he reached at Dandi, where he broke the salt law by boiling sea salt. This is this will mark the beginning of civil disobedience movement. Now, what is civil disobedience movement? Civil disobedience movement, not only to under this people were asked to refuse to cooperate, but also to refuse to obey the British law. Like salt satyagraha was happened in South India at salt near the salt factory. Second, the foreign clothes were boycotted. Bonfires of foreign cloth took place. Liquor shops were picketed. Peasants refused to pay revenue, chowkidari tax. Even village forest people, they refused to follow the forest law. So uh, this was the movement where the common man participated at a large scale. But this movement came to an end by the Gandhi-Irvin Pact, which took place in 1931. By this pact, Gandhiji consented to participate in second roundtable conference. At the same time, he called off the movement. On the other side, the British agreed to release all those political prisoners who were not involved in any violent acts. So, and we know he went to London, he participated, but this goes in vain. It won't have, the result was not yielded. People were at divided house, so he returned India with empty hand. In the next slide, we will discuss about who participated in the civil disobedience movement. Thank you.